Hello everyone, Skits here, and welcome to top 10 Fallout New Vegas mods that came out in 2016. Now I know that this video is a month late, but I had a lot of exams and I was unable to play any video games or record any videos, and I apologize for that. Anyway, as always, this is my personal list, and if you have any mods that I might have missed, since I wasn't really that active in Fallout New Vegas community last year, then make sure you post them in the comments, I will be glad to read them. And now, without any further delays, let's get to it. Starting off at place number 10, we have SP Rearmed, a SpamPTRS weapon pack by SpamPTRS. This mod adds over 40 new custom weapons into the game. These new weapons include energy, pop culture guns, and some new completely fictional concepts. These weapons also have mods, custom sounds, and there are also recipes for creating them, as well as leveled list and vendor list integration. Now, due to time restraints, I won't be able to show you all of those weapons, and in this video you will probably only see around 10 of them in action. Anyway, when it comes to the weapons themselves, I did enjoy them. Just like the description says, there is a huge variety in them, and some of the new concepts really impressed me. Now, when it comes to the textures and models, the textures were okay. Not the best textures I ever saw on weapons, but I think they were good enough. And when it comes to models, like I said, they were pretty unique, but they however also included some weapons that you will probably know from real life. In combat, some of them were very effective, some of them were a bit less, but overall I think they were balanced. Now, if you want to try out some new unique weapons that have a big variety, then I would definitely recommend this mod. Coming up at place number 9, we don't have a single mod, but instead a bunch of armor mods by hagyjalbeken. Now, this modder has released 6 new armors this year, and for most of them I also did a separate review, and therefore I won't be talking too much about each specific armor, since if you want to know a bit more about them, you can check out the specific videos for them. These 6 new armors include an armor with hood, rogue scribe armor, wasteland engineer armor, headgear is important, headgear pack, wearable horns, and tough traveler armor. Now, some of these armors have custom textures and models, some of them only have custom textures, and some of them are made from in-game armor pieces, but I have to say that each one of them has a unique design, and I did like them. Each one of these armors also has a high quality textures and models. Another great thing is that these armors are also made of different pieces, so if you feel like you can combine them together and create an ultimate mashup. And the main reason why I decided to put this modder in this list is that he was one of the few guys that actually made some armor mods this year, and like I said, I liked all of them and I thought that they were very unique and cool, and if you also enjoyed what you saw on screen, then you should go ahead and check them out. Place number 8 goes to Zion Trail by Hwiccian. This mod adds a brand new world space along with few quests into the game. Now, if you ever wondered what happened to your career when he went from Mojave to Zion Valley in Honest Arts DLC, then you can find out with this mod, because this new world space is located between these two locations. There are currently over 8 quests in this mod, some new fully voiced NPCs, new weapons, new outfits, and a new set of skill books that increase different statistics than the original skill books in vanilla game. My main favorite thing about this new world space is its scenery and overall atmosphere. I personally thought it was a breath of fresh air, and there are some scenes where you will just stop and admire the scenery that is in front of you. Of course, other than admiring scenery, you are also going to be fighting enemies and completing quests. Now, the main quest that happens here is node based, and you're basically supposed to find out what happened to the adventurers that decided to go here. When it comes to locations you're going to visit, each one of them is a little bit unique. There is a town here where you can find a vendor that can give you a few quests. There is even a vault, or a trader that is traveling with a super mutant. Overall, a very good quest mod with a new open world space that I would definitely recommend to everyone. Coming up at place number 7, we have Real Recoil by Deus Gladiorum. This mod basically reworks how the recoil works in New Vegas. Now, in vanilla game, recoil is basically non-existent and only few weapons have some actual kick in them, and so far, if you wanted to improve this with some other mods, you didn't really have that many options. Now, of course, there were some mods that added a recoil, but I personally think that this mod is best one so far. One of its best features is that it doesn't only work on vanilla weapons, but also on any other modded weapon that uses vanilla ammunition, since this mod mainly calculates its recoil based on the ammunition type you're using. So therefore, if you're using any modded weapon from Millennia or any other guys, if that weapon uses any ammunition from vanilla game, this mod's recoil is going to apply to it. Now, of course, there are also some other things that influence the recoil, but thanks to the fact that it is mainly based on ammunition, It is very compatible with any other mods. Another great feature is also its camera work. Now Real Recoil, just like most modern shooters, uses linear interpolation to calculate the recoil, and therefore camera movement is a lot smoother. And that is basically all there is to say about this mod. I really liked it mainly because you can see that a lot of work and thoughts went into this mod, and that's why I decided to put it all the way up to number 7. Place number 6 goes to Fallout 4 Quickloot for New Vegas by Xilandro Axeuora. This mod, just like its name says, adds the Fallout 4 type Quickloot menu into the New Vegas. Now if you played Fallout 4, there isn't really much to say about this mod, and there isn't really much to explain. One of its main advantages over the original system is that it happens in real time, and therefore you're not forced in and out of any sort of menus, and that makes it of course a lot faster. Also, if you don't really want to rummage through any sort of cabinets or any sort of garbage cans, just by simply looking at them. And yeah, that's basically all there is to say about this mod. It is really not that hard to comprehend, and like I said, once again I have to give Bethesda praise for this feature, because I cannot even imagine my New Vegas without it anymore, and I would definitely recommend it. Moving on, we've got City of Adventures Redux by NDDragor. Just like Zion Trail, this mod adds a brand new world space into the game, along with tons of new quests, locations to explore, enemies to kill, and a lot more. Now you can begin this quest by going to the 188 trading post and talking to Marcus. It will take you to City of Adventures via a vertibird. Unfortunately, your vertibird crashes right at the beginning, and you're forced to fight your way through the city until you get to the Adventurers Guild itself. Personally, I think that gameplay in this mod has a very good balance of exploration, dialogue, and some action, and I was pleasantly surprised by how well Mod managed to juggle all of these 3 conditions that for me personally make a good quest mod. Now other than the main quest, there are also 9 side quests that you can take, and they are not just a filler, and I really did enjoy them. Now unfortunately new characters in this mod are not voice acted, but other than that I don't have any problem with this mod. There were no bugs or any other mistakes that I noticed. And another thing I also have to say is that city itself also looks pretty good, and there are some interesting locations for you to explore. Overall, my main reason for putting this mod all the way up at place number 5 is that I just simply enjoyed it. It was really enjoyable to play through this mod, and it also took me quite a few hours to do it, and therefore thanks to its long play time and interesting content, I would definitely recommend it. Coming up at place number 4, we have Lunette by Tømminfinite and friends. This mod adds a brand new voiced companion into the game. You can begin Lunette's quest in Good Springs, and after following her diary notes, you can find her near Hidden Valley. After that you can take on Lunette's quest. It will probably take you at least few hours to complete. Now other than her quest, Lunette is of course voice acted. She has the classic companion wheel, and you are allowed to talk to her, trade with her a little bit. Now other than the classic companion things, she also has a few unique features. For example, one that kinda reminded me of Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite is that Lunette is able to throw you some things from time to time, either in combat or just randomly. She also has some unique restraints. For example, in combat she doesn't kill enemies, she only knocks them out with her weapon. And I have to say that is a very interesting mechanic for a companion that I never saw before. Sometimes I personally think it was a little bit overpowered, since when she knocks out the enemies it is very easy for you to kill them. She also won't carry anything you have, and therefore you cannot really use her as a pack mule. And one of the things I really didn't like is that unfortunately you cannot grab her with Groovatron. Instead you are teleported into the air, which I found funny the first time, but if you really want to move her, it gets a little bit annoying. I'm not sure if you can turn that off, hopefully you can, and I just didn't notice that. Other than that, she will also strike up random conversations with you, either about your life, about your motivations. She will also change her hair, level up with the player, or even take random photos of you or other sceneries. She can also react to some of the vanilla quests. For example, if you take her to Mr. House, she will actually comment about him, and she has a similar like and dislike system to Fallout 4 companions, where Lunette will like some of your actions, while on the other hand dislike some of them. When it comes to her looks, I personally did like her, but I know that some of the players might not like her personality or voice acting, therefore here's a quick preview.
I'm so sorry I shot you. Are you alright? Listen, I know it's not pleasant, but the pain will go away, I can assure you. It's merely a side effect of a temporary disruption of your brain's electrical activity.
Other than that, there is really not much to talk about Lunette, because she is a really unique companion that, unlike Willow, has some new modern features, like for example the karma system, the throwing of things, taking photos, and other unique things that separate her from other companions, and therefore I think you should go ahead and check her out. Place number 3 goes to first person weapon animation overhaul by Hitman47101. This mod adds a brand new first person animations into the game. Now I already made around 3 or 4 videos about these new weapon animations that are going to be included in the description, so if you really want to know more about them, then go ahead and check those out. In this video all I have to say is that these new animations are really excellent. They include most of the one-handed, two-handed weapons, like sniper rifles, assault rifles, pistols, shotguns, but of course they do not include all of them, and when I compare them to vanilla animations they of course look a lot better, even though some of them might not work for your field of view and you will either have to increase or decrease it if you want to see them in full action. If I have to compare them to modern FPS animations, I think they are pretty much on par with most of them, and I don't see any reason why you really shouldn't use them, because for me personally they are essential and I cannot even imagine my game without them, and that is one of the main reasons why I decided to put it all the way up at place number 3. Coming up at second place we have Animation Project by ILikeToPunch, Decer aka Asurah, and Tamminfinite. This mod adds a bunch of new cool animations into the game. Anyway, when it comes to this mod, it is yet another one of mods that tries to make Fallout New Vegas a bit more modern, and it mainly does it through new custom animations. These new animations include combat rolls that allow you to perform, of course, combat roll whenever you want to evade an attack, and during this combat roll you're actually invincible. Now, unfortunately these only work in third person, or at least they only worked in third person for me, so if you're mainly a first person player you're probably not gonna enjoy them that much. Next animation is Animated Sprint, which is personally my favorite one, that basically animates you sprinting. Compared to, for example, Project Nevada, it looks a lot, and I mean really a lot better. I mean, just by looking at this you can see that a lot of work went into animating players with different weapons in first and third person. Another animation is Animated Ingestibles, that shows a short animation whenever you take a Stimpack, Medex, Tourniquet or Jet. Now, unfortunately, I found this one a bit annoying, especially in combat when you're taking Stimpaks, and by the time you actually take the Stimpak you're usually all the way down to the health you were before you applied it, and I think that this one will be especially annoying in hardcore mode. Another one is Animated Grabbing, that appears whenever you try to pick up an object, and it basically shows your character reaching out with his hand. And the last one is Animated Landing, that plays whenever you fall from a bigger height. Now, other than this animation, this mod also includes combat takedowns, a mod that was separate before but is now included in this one, that allows you to perform combat takedowns or any enemies. Personally, I did enjoy these takedowns, mainly because they are something again very unique and not seen before in Fallout New Vegas, even though they are a little bit overpowered in combat, and whenever you are in a pinch, all you have to do is just run to the enemy, press the hotkey and take them down. Combat takedowns also include some new custom animations, as you can see on screen, and the animation work on them was great as well. So overall a very good mod, and you can clearly see that a lot of work went into it, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. And finally, the first place goes to Lazarus Project by Tømminfinite and friends. Now, if I had to summarize this mod, it basically adds a bunch of new gameplay mechanics, mainly from modern FPS games, into your game. First one of them includes a wheel menu. It basically spawns a new wheel menu for your weapons, similar to one used in newest Doom, where you can select any of your weapons that you want. Just like in Fallout 4, there is now a VATS critical system that builds up over the time as you shoot your enemies. You are now allowed to climb ladders. There are also new visual objectives, so therefore it is a lot easier to find objects that are, for example, located in the middle of desert. From Fallout 4, this mod also took dynamic crosshair that you can see on screen right now, and also the radiation meter. This mod also includes other 4 mods that were previously standalone ones. Now, the first of those 2 are hit marker and hit indicator, that add the marker whenever you shoot an enemy, and also add the indicator whenever you are shot. Now, if you ever played any modern FPS game, you're pretty familiar with these 2 mods. Another mod is Real-Time Equipper, that allows you to equip and unequip items, consume any 8 items, attach or remove weapon mods, and drop items in real time. And there's also Item Previewer that was also taken from Fallout 4, that appears whenever you try to pick up a new weapon, and it will show you its stats and a visual, so therefore you know if you really want it or not. Now, when you combine all of these new features together, you get a very good and essential mod, at least for me, that makes Fallout New Vegas a bit more modern and closer to the modern FPS games. Of course, if you don't like any of these new features, you can turn them off in the mod configuration menu, and I'm sure that you liked at least one of these features, so make sure you go ahead and download this mod. And yeah guys, I guess that's about it. And right now when I release this video I still have 2 weeks of free time, so I will try to put out at least 2 more videos. One of them will be Fallout 3 versus Fallout New Vegas, that a lot of people have asked for, and since Fallout New Vegas versus Fallout 4 did really well, it has over 180k views. Yeah, it is really popular, so therefore I wanted to make a sort of a sequel that a lot of people asked in the comments. And the next video, I'm not really sure about which one will it be, but I kind of wanted to take a look at some of the upcoming Fallout New Vegas mods like the Frontier and Project Brazil and make sort of a preview for them, since I didn't really want to make another top 10 in this free time, since I also want to do something a bit different than the usual videos. And yeah guys, I guess that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, leave a like if you did, tell me what you think about it in the comments, subscribe for more Fallout New Vegas content, and I will see you next time.